Hey everyone, this is Dr. Briley. Stay healthy, wealthy, and wise, and never apologize for wanting more out of life. Okay, everybody, we are back. Thank y'all for tuning in. Thank you for all of the views. We are already up to 380,000 views, and I appreciate the love and support. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. As always, we have very interesting guests on the show, always trying to bring you different things, new things, just good conversations. I appreciate everybody joining and watching and listening in. Of course, my name is Dr. Briley, and we're going to go around the table and we're going to introduce ourselves. So I'm Dr. Briley, and who do we have today?
I'm Anthony Shorrosh.
Okay.
I'm George Merrill.
Okay.
Nice to be here. Thank
Yay.
you.
So I'm glad. So Anthony has been a great friend of mine for many, many years. He's seen me in various roles in the wonderful Spring, Texas. He's just been a great person. And I wanted to bring him on the show with real estate. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So he brought the smartest, best, brightest.
Yes, and yes.
Yes.
That's a lot to carry.
Into the room when it comes to real estate, because this is who Anthony leans on for real estate and just a lot of different key components. So before we get started, we always do like a little warming opening of something funny, something crazy, something that happened. I'll go first. So I want, So basically, I just came back from Chicago. I did go to the revealing of the Obama's museum. I was there for the festivities for Juneteenth. Y'all know how I am. I'm always traveling, doing things, learning. I love art. And I was there, and I took an Uber from the airport, and they told me what rental car place to go to. So I got to the rental car place, but it was the wrong rental car place. And I got there 10 minutes before the doors were to close. And because of this festivities in Chicago, right? All cars are booked, and I'm at the wrong rental car place. That is not like the cute version. So I didn't get mad, y'all. Like if in my 20s, I would have got mad. If in my 30s, I would have got mad. In my 40s, I'm telling my age now, I would have got mad. But I'm past all that. I don't get mad. I'm like starting to make jokes. I'm like, oh, okay, so I guess I'm just gonna have to walk. I wish I would have brought my horse from Texas. I could have, rode around on my horse. And so the guy kind of was like, well, I don't know what to do for you. And then this other man before me, he says, oh, this man's credit check, or what? I didn't even know they did credit checks. It didn't go through, but we got you a Subaru. And I said, a Subaru? I said, I'm finna drive a Subaru, soccer mom's car. So I was like, okay, Subaru. So he gave me the keys, and then I got out there, and I was like, you know me, I like cars, I like fast cars. I'm not gonna tell y'all what I drive, but I got in the car, and I actually like the Subaru. So now I think I'm gonna buy a Subaru for the business.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
I like it. So it was kind of crazy story, but to get there 10 minutes prior, it was kind of crazy.
Yeah, no, that's luck. I don't know where to start. I mean, I've got crazy stories.
Not too crazy, Anthony. Just one.
Well, my grandson, I spent a lot of time with my grandson and grandkids, and I was sitting on the couch, and I was talking to him, he says, Papa, mind your own business, boy. I was like, excuse me? I said, where'd you get that from? Well, Boogie tells me that all the time because I ask too many questions. So we started talking about it. So I thought it was kind of funny that my grandson was trying to tell me that.
He told you to mind your own business.
So I said, I'm going to go to the bouncy place and go have some fun and play. And he goes, can I come? I said, no. Mind your
Mind
And he looked at me, and he started to get sad, and I said, come on.
Aw.
So I kind of taught him a little lesson.
That's cute, though.
Who do you tell? Mind your own business to.
Right? Only outsiders.
Only outsiders.
What you have for us?
Nothing to your levels. I mean, this is a great story. The most recent thing that happened to me, unexpectedly, obviously, when it happens, you never know when things happen to you, but just got home, just started walking into my home office, and I hear a big crash sound outside my door. It sounded like two vehicles ran into each other. I looked through the window, saw a vehicle going that way, and I looked out the blinds, and I see this car smoking, and my 6 foot, 3.5 by 3.5, or almost 4 foot, squared mailbox is all over my front yard, and this lady skipped over multiple entrances to my house, my circle drive, creamed she must have been going, I mean, it's only a 30 mile an hour, 25 mile an hour street. She must have missed the stop sign and went right through. She got out of the car. She's walking up. By the time I'm walking out of here, I'm like, oh my God, are you okay? What's going on? She goes, it's okay. I'll pay for it. It's okay. And I said, well, yes,
you are.
And the story goes a little bit further. She's like, I don't know what happened. I guess I blacked out. Well, that's not what normal people say when they just, so immediately my thought was, okay, you have a situation that causes you not to be driving, but you were driving. And she went through this quick story of how, someone called from Best Buy and said that someone had just charged $5,000 on her Best Buy card, so she was emotional and she was running and she must have blacked out. She doesn't remember hitting the phone. And she goes, I didn't even know I hit it until I couldn't move my car anymore. Her car is totaled and it's like immovable. She's like, it's okay though. It's okay. I'll pay for it. So normally we need to get you, she's late 70s with the little hat and the glasses. You can imagine with the moo-moo on and everything, the whole thing. And I'm like, you need to sit down. Let me help you. And she goes, it's okay. I've called Lexus Roadside. They're on their way. I was like, ma'am, you can't leave the scene. We need to call medical and we need to call somebody to assist what's going on. No, it's okay. It's okay. I just called. They're going to take me to the dealership and I'll get another car. And like, yeah, that was
that's crazy.
Yeah, come to find out, she did have restrictions. She wasn't supposed to be driving, and she was going so fast. She literally ran through a solid brick.
Could have hurt herself.
Literally, she could have kept going. The only way is she couldn't keep going. Her axle fell off the front of her RX 330, brand new, because she hit it so hard. That's how fast she was going.
It's hard to take keys away from people that have been driving for a long time.
Yeah, that's true.
That's a real estate story, actually.
Yeah,
she took out your real estate almost, a portion of it.
If she had hit my curb the wrong way, she'd have come right up my circle drive to where my office was. She was probably 30 feet. Jeez. At the speed she was going, she could have come right through into my office. Crazy, so in a way, I'm thankful. And but I'm thankful she's okay. Number one.
Right.
You can always replace a mailbox, but you can't ever replace a grandma or a mom.
Yeah.
So.
Or a meemaw.
Or a meemaw. Yeah.
That's what
she's
my
like, it's
son
okay,
called.
I'm your neighbor. I live down. Okay, great.
Don't
that
drive
makes
down
it
the
okay.
street.
Yeah,
Don't drive down the street anymore.
We got stop signs in front of my house and to the side of my house for a reason.
Wow, that's
crazy.
And
it had to be going at least 50 miles an hour, but she would have kept going. She said, my car wouldn't move anymore, so I got out to see what was wrong. I didn't even know I hit your thing. You didn't know you went over 1, 2, 3 curbs across my lawn, took out my thing, and then got back on the street and was over here. And she's like, I didn't have any idea. So,
oh my, y'all.
Yeah.
See, and I tell everybody to turn their phone off, right?
And that's my time for today. I'm ready to go.
Right. So let's talk about real estate a little bit.
Sure.
Let's talk about how did you get in the industry, and tell me some of the things that you've seen over the time you've been in, and how long you've been in it.
Well, it does look like I've been in the industry for a long time, but I am not Santa Claus. But I am a second-generation broker. My dad did it for almost 40 years, and my mom did it for over a decade. Both independently, one for a larger firm and one independently as her own broker. And my dad just had a way of doing things that before it was a turnkey operation, he was a developer and a builder. He built houses also. So he would locate the land, divide the subdivision, sell the lots individually, sell the home to them, build the house, arrange the financing. It was like a turnkey element.
So he did it from beginning to end.
Exactly. From hello to we're done, and then kept those people as lifelong clients. And so his relationship and his ability to connect with people, and my mom, phenomenal. She could do anything. She could do this, and she's a multitasker. And she had, I'm the youngest of 7, and so she had, could do that.
You said the youngest of 7, and he was doing all this work this way.
Correct.
And
yeah,
that's why you work like this.
Different generation. I do push myself, but if I humbly, truthfully say, if I'm half the man my dad is, I've done something special when it's all said and done. So he's. I always thought he was 7 feet tall. But come to find out, he's only 5'5", and but he's still a giant to me and my best friend, and so
Wow.
and my hero. Yeah, I've been very fortunate. I've told Anthony, and any success that I've had, I love it, and you can thrive, and there's nothing wrong with success and
Right.
enjoying the moments. You should celebrate all those kind of wins, but I am a turtle on a fence post. And if you ever get a chance to see a turtle on a fence post, if you're lucky enough, you know when you do see that moment and you have that time that just comes to you, you know that he didn't put himself there, someone else did. And so that's been my life. Giants in industries, lions in my corner have always just taken a moment and out of their schedule somehow and left their fingerprints and impressions on my life, and it elevated my position at the moment so I could see the direction I'm going. I'm comfortable being on the ground.
Right.
But when you do get those moments where someone, enriches your time with them and elevates your perspective, you end up saying, okay, this is where you can go. This is where
Right.
you're headed.
Right.
And sometimes it's a course correction too. It's not just like, hey, you're doing the right thing. Sometimes you say,
Right.
hey, listen, you're headed this way, but if you go this way, it's going to
Right.
be even better. And so those moments have come to me, and they come to all of us if we take some time to really think about it. I think we all can go back and say, we're beneficiaries of these moments that have just been like, wow, that happened and I didn't even
Right.
see it coming. So I am definitely a product of that, combined with the hard work ethic. My dad will be 95 in July, and phenomenal, still healthy and strong. He thinks he can cut 9 acres with a weed eater. And he's a Marine. You can't tell him anything different. And we just talked about that, about the license. They just took my dad's license away. That was very difficult. I probably should have told this story, but when they, as a veteran, the VA sends you the notification that your license, you can't use your license anymore. And so my mom had to get me on the phone and said, I need you to talk to your dad. I said, oh, what happened? What's going on? Nothing. Everything's fine. He said, well, we got a letter in the mail, and it said that Dad can no longer drive, and they're taking his license. He needs to send it in. Now, Dad has a different opinion about this, and I need you to talk to him. Well, being that I'm very close to my parents, thankfully, I got on the phone with my dad. I said, Dad, what's going on? He goes, yeah, I don't know. They send me this thing, da-da-da-da. And then the banter back and forth, as parents do, they forget that they're on the phone. They just keep talking to each other. And my dad just, being true to himself, says, what's to say that I actually received this? And I said, he goes, things get lost in the mail all the time. I said, Dad, I can just picture my dad driving, with an expired license getting pulled over. My mom saying, and you can't do this. And oh my goodness, it's the hilarious thing. But yeah, my dad says, who says I received it? I mean, how do they know? Do they have some kind of system? And I'm like, it's truly, my dad would still be working today if they'd let him do it. But it was a big thing because my dad drove everywhere. Wanted, wherever my mom dreamed it up, he would take her. And so he was the facilitator of anything she wanted to do or go in place. And so for her to have to drive, it's a little bit of a change, but they're doing good, and they're cute as buttons. But yeah, I'm very fortunate, very, very fortunate.
So basically, you came from a family that had the dynamic genes of doing this, and you just emerged into it.
Correct. If I'd have listened to my dad, I'd have done it since I was 18. I didn't, and so I've been doing it since 2008, and I have a team of agents. I've been very fortunate to work for what I feel, in my personal opinion, is probably the best brand worldwide. And with that caveat, there's always growth elements. There's always places they can improve. I'm not saying they're perfect, but I sure appreciate the element of what they bring to the table, the diversification, the opportunity. And so being with Berkshire Hathaway, you do get a worldwide brand, but you still get the elevation of the quality of a home boutique group. My group is the largest in Texas, and we're very fortunate for that. And I have a great broker of record that has really given me the flexibility and the trust.
Where are y'all located?
We're located we have 25 locations. So our corporate office is on 290 and 43rd Street. But we're in Austin, Fort Worth, 20 locations in Houston. We have 2 locations in Dallas and Dallas-Fort Worth. We have Tyler. We also just acquired another location up in Longview. And so we're scaling right now. We just have, I believe, just under 700 agents on our group, but there's only 4 other brands of Berkshire in Texas, and they're usually one or two. So we are the Texas brand, and we're thankful for that, and we love collaborating with our sister franchises as well. But yeah, we've been very fortunate, and I think we bring a lot of good value to the table, and everybody's always innovating.
How do they get to your group? How do they contact you?
So email is easy. It's gm.berkshirehathaway at gmail. You can look through the Berkshire brand. I'm easy to find on HAR as well. You can find me on HAR.
I just want the viewers to make sure they
okay.
have that opportunity.
I wasn't thinking about that.
To, you know,
that's great.
to connect with you. Because we do have viewers all over the world.
Sure.
There's so many people moving to Texas. Like
there are
so many people moving to Texas.
There are.
Slow down, y'all. Slow down. But they're always looking for realtors. So
true.
Looking for brokers. They're looking for commercial.
Sure.
That's
what I do a little bit different.
Okay.
If this could be something
no,
to talk about,
go ahead.
is that I'm not a transactional realtor.
Right.
I don't advertise.
Right.
So this is something that I'm not used to doing. I do referral
Thank
only.
You for coming.
Well, I'm very glad. He's my private client, so I handle my responsibilities clients. Right. Like Chase does private client for high net worth.
Right.
Well, I have 5 different bankers. Well, I have 5 different individuals handling auto loan, all this, and everything else. You have one private client rep that handles your whole portfolio.
Right.
Same thing. I just any great idea, and so this is nothing great about me, but just taking an existing idea and tweaking it to fit what you're doing.
Right.
So I took that concept, in which I love Chase. Chase, I love you.
I'm a retiree from Chase.
Yeah, we're good. We're good. Shout out to Mark Smeltzer, my private client rep. But no, anyhow, I just took that element and tried to do what my dad did.
Okay.
And scale it to a more present day moment.
Right.
Where he did turnkey all the way through.
Right.
And I managed the portfolio of my clients. So Anthony,
doing turnkey for your clients.
he has residential, he has long-term holds, he has 1031 exchanges, he has corporations, he has commercial restaurants. And so he doesn't have to go to 3 or 4 different elements of brokers because when you get an agent, you have to be an expert in all the fields. So thankfully, I have all that experience through decades. Through decades, I've been humbled to have that experience, and then you still have to have the flexibility of a broker of record to give you those permissions because they don't want you just stumbling over into anything else.
Right.
Obviously, it opens up liabilities, opens up exposure, and you want to also deliver the quality at that level like you do in the other division that you have within the company. I've been very fortunate to have that opportunity. So what I do for Anthony is what I do for all of my clients. And you just said they're moving in. I just had a call 3 days ago that they're moving in from Florida. Yeah. And so they were in Houston, they moved in from Florida, decided not to buy a house in Europe. They were going to buy 2. They're going to buy a house in Europe, and they decided to scale up and do something there, but without getting into too specific. But they're putting money into Texas, and it's a great time. I think a lot of consumer confidence is strategically in Texas. Yes, in other areas, I'm sure you have spots all over. Right. I'm working on receiving.
Are you just here in Texas?
For now.
Okay.
I'm reciprocating in Florida, South Carolina, and Maine is my next step is to scale. Okay. Because I have clients coming from those states into Texas, but they maintain their portfolio there. Right. And so inherently, it's just that's where originally I'm from is Maine. My parents, I would love to have had all the referrals from my parents in Texas, but they were in Maine and they established such a great reputation and great heritage. I long for that opportunity to do something in Maine where I put my dad's name on it again, and and put his a big feature in the office for him, and give him the honor that I believe he's due. Right. And so that's something I'm working toward as well.
It's so rewarding to hear that from people to say that.
In the best part of it, it's honesty. It's straightforward. You're not a number. You're not a percentage. You're not a transaction. You're a relationship.
Right.
So you get the honest truth. You get the honest truth. Don't touch it. Don't do that. It's about advising. It's about protecting. Right. It's about sharing what's best. And, and that's
because it's a legacy.
Exactly.
So when you have individuals that do what you do, it's a legacy. You're not just okay, got you in, got my money, I'm out. It's a collaboration. Right.
But nobody can protect you, sort of how to cultivate it, how to make an asset.
I've learned over the years.
So I've learned that. And that's where I kind of learned about relationships,
Right.
Realize that at the end of the day, it's relationships. It's not.
Right.
It's not a number. It's not a transaction. It's not a contact.
Right.
It's a relationship. And so the past few years, it's turning out to make things a lot better. So
Right.
I've learned that. So in real estate, when you talk about commercial property, residential property, it's all the same. It can be a grocery store. It can be going and buying something.
Right.
It's about the process, and it's how it's handled, and the honest behind it, so you don't get caught. You know, a lot
Right.
of people get caught in some shady deals or something because they don't get disclosed information. They just want
And
that
they don't
sale,
understand.
and they just want to go. So it's,
Right. They don't
it's
understand the
learning.
concepts to it too. So you have to have good people around. Now I know we're gonna go even deeper with me and Anthony, but before you leave
Yeah.
today,
Mhm.
can you give, if somebody was interested in doing what you're doing, what kind of advice? The one key thing that you would tell somebody about to, I know you learned so much from your family.
Sure.
But there's people that see stuff and they want better and they want to do better. And I'm always telling people on our show, you never apologize for wanting more out of life. Every generation should want, you fine-tuned what you did.
Mm-hmm.
So what would you give as an advice to somebody as you're getting ready to leave today? And we're going to keep the show going with me and Anthony, but.
And you hit on that's a great question. So to get to that answer, you have to establish a couple things ahead of it.
Okay.
Because everybody wants to do that, but where do they start?
Right.
What's the first step? Everybody's got people, I'm sure, have bigger dreams than I do.
Right.
They're going to be unique to themselves, and they should pursue that.
Right.
So, but tagging off what Anthony says for client conversation, being honest. So you're honest with yourself, one.
Right.
Assess your time. I had an Einstein fellow that shared with me. He was out of D.C. and he's from Argentina. Phenomenal man. Again, a fingerprint in my life for the moment. And he said, with his accent, I can't even do it justice. But I loved him so much, and he has a special place in my heart. He was telling me in a group of individuals, but he was speaking to me, and he said, George, there's 3 things that you need to line up and put in the right order in your life. And I said, okay. And he named 3 things. He named priority, a necessity, and essential. And he asked me, and I'll be completely truth about it, is I put it in the wrong order. I said, where would you put these things? And I said, well, priority and necessity and then essential. He said, no, that's where everybody gets it wrong. And everybody else pretty much did the same thing in their own variation and through the room at the same time. Because he said, how many think this, how many second and third. And so if you put the essential things first, the things that you can't live without, the necessity of the things that do produce and take care of
Right.
the essential things, then you'll have plenty of time for all the priorities that you want. The key is the difference between the need and the want. So if you establish the need first and
Right.
take care of the needs, essential things, then your wants will get bigger. You'll have more space, more time. It's the same thing with time. You spend time, you invest time, and you waste time. If you can have an honest conversation about with nobody around, nobody needs to look at the paper that you write out because you don't want to share that. Because if we're all honest about it, we've got it inverted, or we've got
Right.
we've got our preferences because we like what we like. We
Right.
want to do what we want to do. But if you can actually reprioritize those things into an element where this is the time I'm really wasting. I'm fooling myself and saying I'm spending it wisely, but I'm really not. And what time am I investing? What is the dividends going to continue to return outside of me just spending time? Because spending time can be good, and you can spend it, and then it turns into something that's an investing your time. But then again, if you're honest with yourself, am I really wasting time here? Am I really getting the honest results? And only you can assess you. And if you don't have that, find a mentor that you can trust that will speak into your life to do that. Once you do those things and you get that balance, then you can really look at your dream and the practicality of how to implement it and
Right.
what to do next with a clear filter
Right.
that's not tainted by anything of preference.
Right.
You've already had the honest conversation with yourself. You have assessed where you're at, so you know how much you can commit to your dreams.
Right.
And then you just take that PhD. Now, I saw the doctor on your name over here, but it's a little bit different.
Yeah,
And it's different
yeah.
from the cultural PhD that's probably
Yeah.
out there that people are thinking. It's the poor, hungry, and driven mentality. You put
Right.
those things after you've had, you can have this PhD,
Right.
but unless you have the honest conversations, you're going to deceive yourself about what you're
Right.
actually capable of committing to long term and sticking with it.
Right.
People start off great things and then they go to the next thing and they go to the next thing, but it'll give you the longevity. because nothing happens overnight. You might get some good wins overnight, great, but that's the exception, not the rule.
Right.
But where I've gotten into is I've been willing to do more and to do the things that other people don't. And he can share with you in a different time, and that there are certain things that I've done with him that normally he hasn't seen, just because he needed somebody to go meet with a bank president to make something happen. Well, I drove 3 hours round trip to go sit into a president's office to convince him that my client needed to get the opportunity that he needed to get, because he's an exceptional client, and this is why. And then drive all the way back and let him rest. There's just elements that, again, nothing about myself.
That's relationship. That's building that foundation.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
It's building trust, unlimited trust. I mean, that's trust and a great relationship.
Sure.
So, I mean, I have to get him back on the show. Like, I
really?
have to
Sorry. Yeah.
I have to get him back on the show, but I have to get him to his next destination, because he's working.
The one thing about when you ask that question is the honest wanting to do the work. A lot of people want to do what you do, but don't want that part. They want to start at the top and then feel that they have to, or it's not successful.
Yes.
They don't want to put the work at the bottom. They don't want to clean the toilet. The restaurant business, I clean toilets.
Yes,
I all those things. You have people come in and say, I don't want to do any of that. I want to be a manager. No, you got to earn that right.
Right.
So that way you understand every aspect of that business.
Right.
Not just one.
Oh, trust. I trust.
So that's the hard part, especially with the new generation. It's
Trust.
hard to let them understand.
Yeah, they want
that.
the
They want
microwave.
everything
Yeah.
fast, and it's
Yeah.
like, it doesn't work that way.
I'm like,
You're
I didn't just
disappointed.
create this YouTube show like this. I used to be a radio person, and I used to pass out flyers. I used to go to the clubs. Oh, thank God I don't do that no more.
Here,
Yeah.
The Sunny level is way down.
Right,
So
right.
They fail harder,
Right.
feel bad, and they give up without ever really trying.
Right,
So
right.
That's kind of
The
that's the
go-to.
things that you have to work on.
Well, we're going to
Find a mentor too.
Oh.
Mentors, again, I didn't mean to stop.
No,
but it's
no.
You get those squared away, you've got the
Yeah.
drive, and then find someone who's going to encourage you.
Right.
Because any mentor can mentor you and tell you what you're doing wrong. But there's another mentor that will meet you at if I can plug it, Denny's at 5 in the morning, because you've got appointments, but you need to get your head straight, and they're gonna say, you know what, I'll be there. They're not gonna be bothered by you. Find that person to speak into your life, to mentor you.
Don't be scared to ask.
And you can ask. You never know who. You'd be surprised sometimes. And if sometimes the doors need to close on the people that are already speaking into your life, that haven't gotten you, haven't helped you, and it's okay. You don't need to sever those relationships, but you need to kind of tone down the volume, and then you just think about it and say, who would be best? Who's going to care about me no matter what?
Right.
If I fall on my face, they're going to say, okay, that's all right. Let's get back up and let's do it differently, and invest the time with you. You find that those kind of people in your life, and it may be more than one. It's okay, and you will be so fortunate. I have been so fortunate. And hard work, never short on hard work, but a mentor is key, because they'll always be that little buffer, the little guardrail, especially when success starts happening.
Right.
You don't need to stop talking to those people. You need them more, because you're going to start going faster. You're going to start doing bigger things, and with bigger things, bigger successes is bigger failures. So you're going to need to be able to make sure that you can handle the responsibility of not making the goal, and still stick to your plan. So I've said enough.
No, you're flowing. He's flowing, and actually, it's speaking directly to me for some odd reason today. So, but yeah, I'm gonna have to. Yeah. So thank you.
Thank you for
And
having
we're
me.
gonna continue this, but we're gonna take a small little break, and we'll be right back.
What I wish I knew at the start. Trusting BlueScorpion Property Preservation Management Group with our commercial landscaping was the best decision ever. BlueScorpion Property Preservation Management Group has been transforming commercial spaces into green paradises. Our clients can't stop raving about us. Just listen to what they have to say.
First client review. Our property has never looked this good. 5 stars all the way.
Second client review. Professional, reliable, and simply the best in the business. 5-star service.
From lush green lawns to vibrant floral displays, we've got it all covered. Our dedicated team ensures your property not only looks great but stands out.
Third client review. Their attention to detail is incredible. Our landscaping has never been in better hands. 5 stars.
Whether you're a business or an individual, BlueScorpion Property Preservation Management Group brings expertise, reliability, and a touch of magic to every project. Ready to transform your property? Join the 5-Star Club! Because at Blue Scorpion Property Preservation Management Group, we believe every property deserves to shine. Blue Scorpion Property Preservation Management Group, where properties thrive.
Hello, everybody. We are back. So thank you for letting us take that small little break. And amazing person that you have over your commercial and residential portfolio, I guess, you know, what we want to call it. We were kind of chatting a little bit off camera while we were taking our break, and we were talking about sustainability in real estate, and what was the key components? How did you explain it to me?
It was like anything else.
Right.
You search for something, you find it, utilize it, sustainability, and you learn when to go.
Right.
Because my first restaurant I had was high volume. If I would have stayed in that restaurant for 20 years and said, this is what my plan, I'd be broke today.
Right.
Because demographics change.
Right.
Growth changes. You have
how do you measure that? How do you and y'all, Anthony's been my friend for a good 20 years. I knew his father first.
Yep.
I knew the family, father and mother first, and then you know, it just emerged. I got a chance to meet the whole family, and I know the whole family, his sister, your brother, and we're like, we get together like every now and then, but when we do get together, it's like, hey, you know, it's like a reunion, right?
We have some fun.
Right. So how do you watch that market? So when you said about the restaurant, right? And if you would have kept it for 20 years, because sometimes people be like, I'm just going to hold on because they say real estate is king. Just hold on to it.
It depends.
It depends.
It depends because a lot of things change.
Right.
What I learned from my dad is the Texas Department of Transportation has a 20 and 30-year plan.
Correct.
So you take the time to look at it and you realize I don't need to be on that side of the highway because they're eventually going to do a passover. Right. So you switch. So you learn that part of it. You have to study.
And don't be trying to hold it.
Exactly. You try to go through with it and cut your loss. You know, so you always have to diversify. You always have to move the property. You always have to go. We opened on Highway 6, Keith That was a great store. Now I sold it, and the person that has this, they're closing it down. Because you have to
use vision.
You just have to look around and realize that the inner city and downtown always expands out, and with that everything changes on the way out.
Right.
So what we did is we found different properties, we cultivated them. I did some lease buybacks. Okay. So the first time I was offered a lease buyback, I said, you're crazy. Why am I going to give you this property and you give me all this money back?
Right.
And I pay rent.
Right.
And I realized a lot of people do that to grow their portfolio. Because if I take a restaurant and I spend $1.5 million on it and I grow it and then I get paid $2 million for that property,
right,
it's still making money when I'm paying rent. Now I take that $2 million and build another restaurant.
Right.
So I can turn around and people do it 3 or 4 times. So now you've got 5 leased restaurants.
Right. With
the cost of 1 opening.
Right.
And now you have a largest footprint. You're able to navigate better. You're able to reduce costs. You're able to kind of move your properties around. And when the leases are over in 15 years, you have the option to renew them or walk away.
Right. Right.
And that's where I learned that sometimes land
right,
is not good.
Right.
Because when you're paying $45,000 in property taxes, you're only selling
Correct.
$1.1 million, and you do the math and said, wow, this property I bought for $500,000, now I'm selling it for $1.1 million.
Right.
In those 15 years, I paid $700,000 on property taxes or $500,000. So how do I really win?
Right. And you have to balance that out. And that's what I try to explain to people. I know, you know, a lot of people say, you know, you just hold on to it, you just keep it. And I go, no, you have to look at the dynamics, the area and what's happening. I mean, I give y'all example when I told y'all on the show before on different episodes, I said every now and then I'm moving further and further north. When the dynamic starts to change, I mean, I used to at one point be in Greens Point area. The dynamics changed for me. That's not where I wanted to be. It's not that it's a bad area, but then also areas revamped, like Northline. They went through a urban gentrification. You know, so you have to keep your eye on the pulse of real estate and not just be that I'm just going to hold on to this because Papa gave it to me or Mima gave it to me and I'm just going to hold on to it. I was blessed with a piece of property from my family a lake house, and I decided that, I looked at the taxes. I mean, and I don't know what they're doing with the taxes. I got to get somebody on this show so we can talk about Texas taxes. Because when areas start to do a little bit of movement, they start to raise those taxes up like crazy. And, but the, well, part of the family didn't understand when I said, I think I'm going to put it up on the market. I think I'm going to get ready to sell it.
They don't understand.
They don't understand it. And I'm a business person. If it's going to be a liability and not an asset, then whatever it is, I'm going to cut my losses and try to make the best of it, and try to come up as a gain instead of just holding on to it. And a lot of people like to hold on to stuff too long.
They like to hold on, and the other side of it is a lot of people don't understand. Everybody
Right.
thinks the restaurant business, oh, everybody makes money. No.
Right.
By the time you pay your taxes, by the time you pay
Right.
your insurances, you have to carry 3 different types of insurance. By the
Right.
time, the food cost issue come across, it's very tight margins.
Right.
I mean, this past year, 6 restaurants, average of $40,000 in property tax.
Wow.
So $250,000 on land.
Right.
So
you
work,
currently
you-
have 6 now.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah, so we
Okay.
sold a couple. So what ends up happening is you look at the year, and you put in perspective. 9 months out of the year, you work for free.
Right.
The second, the past 3 months, you're working to shore up your accounts,
Right.
pay your employees a Christmas bonus,
Right.
and get something left as a cushion so you can start all over again the next year.
Right. To do the cycle.
To
all
do the
again.
cycle.
Right.
So when you find opportunity that you can take some money out of a restaurant or do a refund, do a lease buyback,
Right.
Which is, to me, it's good, and you find the right location. For me, ever since COVID, things have changed. Real estate has changed.
Yes.
The Uber system has changed. People don't go out of their circle much.
Right.
You lose, in the restaurant, you make more money on your beverages. So when people order food, they're not
Right.
taking, they're not bringing beverages, and you have to pay all the
Right.
fees. So you kind of have to adapt. So we
Right.
adapt. We make changes. We use ghost kitchens in some of our restaurants where it's
Right.
another brand
Right.
that is only online order and to work it out.
But you had the visionary to do. See, a lot of what it is you continue to educate yourself on a multitude of platforms, right? You have always been that. Like you've always, ever since I've known Anthony, he's always looking at what he currently has and how he's going to navigate it in a different platform or a way before you do it before others even do it in a restaurant.
Example is COVID. When
Right.
COVID happened in January, I was talking to Denny's people and saying, I said, look, there's something going on in China. We got to be prepared. Do we have this? Do we have this?
Right.
Ready to go? And nobody really talked about anything.
Right. Until it happens.
And then it happened. And here I'm going, oh my God.
Right.
Well, when everybody's trying to figure out what we're going to do, and we said, okay, we can sell food to the guests and everything. I said,
Right.
no, I'm not going to do that. So I had relationships with some of my vendors, Cisco
Right.
Food, things like that. So I took one restaurant, gutted everything out of it, moved all the stuff, and made a warehouse. I would have phone call. I get a pallet of cleaning supplies. I come in, I put the restaurants up,
You've
put it in
always
the
been
neighborhood,
an innovator,
and it was
right.
only 20% higher than what I paid for. I wasn't gouging, and that perpetual. Not only did that keep my employees having jobs, it produced a lot of equity in the community.
Right.
Because I had Houston Fire Department coming in and getting sanitizer. I was going to the daycares. I was going to the senior citizens
Right.
homes, and I had masks and
And they
gloves.
remember you. So
And-
you did it during Harvey.
Yep.
You did it during
so
Harvey.
what you have to do is, no matter the situation, you have 2 options. You can sit and cry about it, or you can grab it and figure out how you can solve a problem.
Right.
And in real estate, the same way. I mean, you have a piece of land, something happens, how do you utilize that piece of land? What do you do?
Right.
And so, I've learned through the restaurant business, through COVID, through other, through Harvey, things like that. You can't control everything.
Right.
And you can't have a system back up for everything.
Right.
One thing my dad taught me was make sure you have enough money to pay everybody for 6 months without an issue.
Right.
And, and have some gold or some assets in the background just in case. So when COVID hit, thank God, because
Right.
if it would have waited 3 more months, we would have been lost everything.
Right.
But we're able to sustain, work on relationships, work on backs, and kind of take the best that you can and use logic.
Right.
And at times it just doesn't make sense.
Right. Right.
You're trying to figure out how come you can't open and someone else can.
Right.
Why can they go to the grocery store but you can't serve the public?
Right.
Why?
Because it's the same amount of people going into the grocery store as, or
Exactly.
more. There's
so,
more.
So you get frustrated, you throw your arms up. But
Right.
then, you stop and say, okay, I have no choice. I got to do what I have to do.
Right.
And so you learn some of that. And now you take that mentality and you realize that, you know what, I'm not going to do exactly what you tell me the way you do.
Right.
I'm going to do it, and I'm going to do it the right way.
Right.
And if I don't like it, I'm not going to do it.
Right.
And I'm not going to, I'm going to trust myself.
Right.
I'm
Well,
gonna
it's
trust
being
that-
bold.
I'm going to trust myself. I'm going to take what I've learned and talk to a few people. But at the end of the day, you know, in any business, you can be a leader or you can be a follower.
Right.
And I learned in Houston, we became the leaders because we were doing things, and I had to go products when no one had to go products.
Right.
I was helping other Denny's franchisees.
Right.
And while we were getting a footprint, we did what we did. We helped
Right.
people. You know, at the end of the day, we feed people.
Right.
We help people. We help our communities. And, you know, and you hope to make a living.
Right.
And we have.
Well, when you sow good seeds, and I always talk about it on the show on multiple guests, is, you know, you can throw a bunch of seeds out there. They're going to bring a harvest, right? It's going to bring a harvest. It's going to be a good harvest or it's going to be a bad harvest, depending on what type of seeds you throw out there. And so I think that the model from even your father to you to your family's legacy is community. Y'all have been like the staple with the restaurants throughout, you know, the areas of Houston and subsidiaries of the staple, you know, of this is how we do things because we care about the community. And then from that, the community remembers you and they come back to, you know,
Exactly. Most of our restaurants and properties are close to neighborhoods. In other words,
Right.
we're not by a highway where you get 85% of your customers are one-time stop.
Right.
So if you screw up, they don't care if you don't keep a nice, clean
Right.
restaurant. Ours is 85% is of our customers are return customers.
yeah.
And
That says a lot.
it does. And as things change, you look and say, okay, I think I'm done with the restaurant business. I'm tired.
Right.
Because things aren't like they used to be. The costs
Right.
are there, and it's just hard to find and hard to compete
Right.
with just everything else that's coming in.
Right.
And like George said earlier about Texas, according to Texas Restaurant Association, Texas is the only state that have more restaurants being opened than closed.
Wow.
$15 trillion industry.
Wow.
Or it equals 15 trillion when you
Right,
talk,
right.
or sorry, 15 billion when you talk
15
about
billion.
when you talk to employees that are hired, the money that goes back in the system. So Texas is just growing everywhere, and
Yeah.
and then you figure out is how can my customers continue to pay the prices they're paying?
Right.
They're going up. You got inflation. You've got all these costs coming up. You've got gas going up. My employees, I've paid my managers extra in
Right.
the past, 3 or 4 months, giving them a little extra money so they
'Cause
can
they
cover
gotta
some
drive-
gas.
yeah.
You got to cover gas. You look at all those factors and you say, how can people afford this?
Right.
And you realize
Right.
your cash is going down in the restaurants. People paying less cash. It's now 85% credit cards, 90% credit cards.
Credit card
and
fees.
credit
yeah.
card fees, and it's going through, and you try to, like at the other brands, not in Denny's, I pass the credit card fees to my customers because a lot of
Right.
people are doing that.
Yeah, a lot of people. are
Denny's
doing
won't let me do it. I pay $340,000 a year in credit card fees.
it. Yeah, because the credit card fees is like outrageous.
Yeah, because the money that the customers leave for tips, the product, and even the sales tax the government collects for you, and
Right.
the state collects, it's all credit card. Most of
Right.
it's credit card. So when I talk to Denny's, I say, hey guys, let's pass it on to the customers, and we don't have to. That money we save, we can
Right.
lower our menu costs. We don't have to increase our menu price. We can do some different
And people,
programs.
and then more people can go out to eat.
Exactly. Because,
know?
and when they realize that they don't, from one of the brands I did, they don't care. They understand it.
Right.
And they make a decision now, do I leave them a 25% tip or do I leave them a 20% tip?
Right.
But I get covered, but it all comes back because that money goes back to the restaurant. It goes back to the community.
Right.
It goes back to doing things.
And it keeps the restaurant industry sustainable too, because
Exactly.
because you got to keep looking at the model and changing it and tweaking it to benefit the people that's going to come and serve and be there.
You used to do $12 million in sales, in credit card sales. And that 3%, that 2.9% you get back on, you're looking at $360,000. That's
Right.
pure profit.
Right.
And if some people get upset and you lose 5% of guest traffic, less work for your employees, but you still make the same amount of money, if not more.
Right. Right.
But you're able to utilize that money now, remodel restaurants where it's nicer, cleaner.
Right.
You're able to go and do more functions with the community and do more fundraisers.
Right.
You're able to put that money back to work.
Right.
But sometimes people don't see it that way. They think you're just trying to be greedy or you're trying to figure out.
Right.
But at the end of the day,
It's a business.
It's a business.
It's a business.
And when we talk about real estate and we talk about restaurants,
Right.
we talk about the best ones are when you have someone come in and get all upset and then demand something.
Right.
You realize they work down the street, that if they give up something and I go demand what they want me to demand, they'll come and go down. So I just smile and say, you know what? We did our best we can. How can I make it right?
Right.
And you understand that. But it's just, it's a business.
Right.
But it's also a real estate business.
Right.
I didn't know until about 10 years ago that McDonald's was the largest real estate company in the world
Yes, they are.
because they own every piece of land of every one of the restaurants.
Yeah. Yeah. And that
More than
what?
the Catholic Church. Can you believe that?
Oh, really?
Yeah, they own
Okay.
more property than the Catholic Church.
Wow. I didn't know that.
That's well, Google may have messed me up. AI may have got it wrong, but that's what I was told.
Right,
So,
right. But that is like pretty amazing. But I did know about McDonald's and them owning, yeah.
And what they do is they control it because,
Right.
like at some brands,
That's a lot
you
of taxes, though.
Well, at some brands, you own the land and the building,
Right.
Which means consistency is not there. You might have the perfect restaurant. You know,
Right.
you might have another franchisee who doesn't care. So when someone experiences that restaurant,
Right.
they assume that's how everything else is.
Right,
McDonald's is you remodel. If not, they'll tear down your building, remodel, and sell it to somebody else.
right,
So they have a system in there.
right.
So it's about real estate, and
And you got to have systems in place in real estate because you have to know key factors of what you need to do, right?
Exactly.
You got to have systems because, you know, when you talked about renovation, most people don't even think about that because, you know, people don't want to eat at places that look funny or be at places that don't look clean. You know, you're not going to keep going back there.
studies show that after 4 or 5 years, it becomes part of the scenery. People don't notice it anymore. That's why people paint the restaurants, do changes, because
Do
then all of a
little-
sudden you'll go, oh, I forgot that was there. You know, because
You're on autopilot.
Exactly.
You're just going, right? But then if a color scheme changes or a new sign goes up, it's like, oh,
Yep.
yeah, let's go back over there. They got the best XYZ. Let's go back over there.
Exactly. And when it comes to real estate, when it comes to commercial estate, you have to make sure you're in the right place at the right time, but is right for what you want to put there.
Right.
Like on Highway 6, you have a restaurant there, but when it rains really bad, they would let the reservoir go blow over, and half the stuff will flood, so you can't get back and forth to it. Back in the day, they'll open up the dams because they don't want Memorial
'Cause they're
to flood,
trying to-
save, so it pushes all the water down.
Right.
So you have to find out about that. We had flood insurance, and when nobody said, "Why do you have flood insurance there?" Because, well, if they decide to release some dam,
Release the dam.
I'm floating, but everybody around me is closed. You know,
Right,
and
And that could hurt you if you're like, this is your first restaurant. That could actually cripple you.
Yep.
Like some things can cripple you and take you completely out of the game because some act of nature, right?
no, when you look at it, act of nature or yourself, because I've seen people that have wanted to open businesses and not realize that when you start a business to be successful, you can't take any money out for 1 to 2 years because you had to put it back in the business.
Right.
Well, some go into business and say, I put all my life savings in it, and then start drawing salaries, start taking money out, and that they can't sustain high labor. They can't sustain after the honeymoon period when you're open.
Right.
And then they lose everything
Right.
because they don't understand that you can't take everything, put it in a restaurant, and then expect that restaurant to start paying you or providing dividends right away. It doesn't work that way.
Right.
And then you get caught in some cycle.
Right.
So it's
A vicious cycle.
a vicious
yeah.
cycle. And
Yeah.
that's why so many restaurants.
And that's
my
so
small
sad,
business.
Because
Yeah.
because you see like smaller restaurants come and then they go and it's like they really had good food. What happened? You know what happened to them? So what's next, Anthony, for you? You know, with your real estate portfolio, what do you what do you want to do? What's next?
I'm working on some projects, and if things pan out, I just want to, we have a foundation, Shorrosh Family Foundation, and what we're looking to just start buying shopping strips, buy things that are already producing, that pay good capex, where you make better interest than you do on your money in the bank, but it's secure.
Right.
And then you continue to build assets, and then
Right.
you can, when an asset doesn't work, you sell it, but make sure that it replaces another asset in the trust, so that you can continually, be able to give back to the community, continue to do things. It's just looking back and seeing how developers work, and seeing how shopping strips work, and how people open them up and then flip them,
Right.
and then storage units. It's time to be on that end of it, to be and just get something that's already created, that has good cash flow, that has security, and attach it to the portfolio.
Okay.
That's something that we're looking at. We haven't been blessed to be able to do much of that yet.
Right.
But we're working on some projects that might allow us
That'll
to
give you that opportunity to do that.
And if it works out, then it's kind of like, putting a roadmap for how the grandkids should follow.
Right.
So that way,
Legacy.
and you can't sell any real estate for 99 years unless you buy replacing real estate. Any profits that come in, 80% of the profits have to go back into real estate. In other words, protect the generation, protect the the family, and also protect the process of what the foundation wants to do.
Right.
And so we've lined up some stuff.
And what is the foundation? So the foundation is. I know about the foundation, but I want Anthony to share. Y'all give back to the community, do things in the community.
We go back and give things to the community. It's been we've been trying to launch it for a year or two, but things have just been really hectic. But we raised some money for Texas Children's. We put some increased some menu prices on our restaurants and our menus. So starting last quarter, 10 cents, 20 cents on this item will go to Texas Children's. Certain items will go to Camp Hope for the veterans. And then we have food bank. So that's what we're working on. So, I'm waiting to surprise everybody, get everything done. And then we're trying to just solidify the foundation where we can give back.
Right. You said Camp Hope, and I started to smile because y'all, quick funny story. We were at a event for Camp Hope, and I was just kind of, y'all know me, I'm just chilling out in the corner drinking my wine. And I ended up buying a pig from my good friend here, Anthony, that they had the little bidding sticks and everything, and I didn't know my stick got picked up and raised up, and before you knew it, I had a
hog hunting.
Hog hunting. Yeah, hog hunting. A hog hunting trip that I had purchased for a couple of $1,000 there. And I turned, and I didn't know that I had purchased a hog adventure. Yeah. So that was when you said that word, it kind of brought back.
Trying to get things lined up. It's hard to raise money.
Yeah, it is.
It's hard to give money away.
Yeah.
And it's just a process, and I'm learning that the process is sometimes it's better instead of to do it all fancy, just to give them money straight off. Yeah. Because in the process of trying to build the foundation, spent $60,000-$70,000. Yeah. I could have separated that money and put the foundation to the charities themselves and repurposed it.
Yeah. And then it's your foundation has, you created it, but before the foundation, y'all have always given to the communities, and y'all always was doing things. It just made more sense to create the foundation to be able to give back.
Somebody I know told me that when you turn 50, you have options. One, do you reflect on life, or do you have a midlife crisis and just go crazy? Well, the day after I turned 50, I was starting to go crazy. Then I realized no, so that's how we started the foundation system, to kind of repurpose some things, kind of put balance. So you get these moments in life where you have to make decisions.
Right.
And sometimes the decisions are right and sometimes they're wrong.
Right. So how can people reach you? How can the followers and people reach you on the foundation side to give and donate?
I'll give you more information. Right now, we had to redo the website. So we're doing some different things up there. But
we'll attach it to, like we've done in the past before, viewers. We'll attach it to the clip. You'll find it somewhere in the clip.
So we're working that part of it. But at the end of the day, it's like I was, I tell my kids, because sometimes they get frustrated. And I said, if you have more good days than bad days, you won.
Right.
Be happy.
Right.
Be happy you won.
Right.
And that's the real estate business, and that's restaurant business. That's any business.
Right. That's even in real estate, just regular everyday purchasing, because it can be scary a little bit when you're purchasing commercial.
It is. It's expensive. Yeah. And the taxes are with it are expensive, and then everything else that you do with it is a little more expensive. So it is scary.
So if you can give the viewers
run as far as you can. No. No.
If you can give them your insight of one thing that will help them if they're thinking about jumping into the commercial side of real estate, or even the residential, because you also do your residential side of stuff. So what would you tell people?
First thing is make sure the people around you are competent in what they're doing and are smarter than you.
That's true.
They'll give you the truth, give you the answers, and help you the right way, the relationships. Because anybody will tell you anything you want to do so they can get a commission.
Yeah, that is true.
And you got to do due diligence.
Right.
And don't expect a home run. Rarely do you ever get a home run. Most of the time you got to wait, and it comes in. Especially when you look at real estate and you get a good price on real estate to develop something. You bought it before the big hit. If you bought it when it's all great, you would pay twice as much money. So you have to understand that planning. There's a small part of failure. When I say failure, I mean meet your expectations.
Right.
I was told once that for your serenity to be good, your expectations should be here.
Right.
When your expectations are right here, and you expect right here, your serenity level will never be at peace. And I've learned that after, it took me about 30 years to realize that. But it's trust your gut.
Yeah.
And if it's not easy, it's not meant to be.
Right.
I've learned that one project, roadblocks came up. No, roadblocks, but hell bent on doing it. And when I finally did it, it was horrible. Looking back, it's like God said, "Hey, I gave you a warning. I gave you a warning.
Yeah.
There's nothing less I can do until say learn yourself." So if there's something out there and the transaction is easy and it's smooth and you pray about it,
Right.
it's most likely it's the right path.
Right.
But if you have to fight with everybody around you,
Right.
and even people that's giving you advice that says, "I don't think it's a good idea," and you're hitting roadblocks,
Right.
take a deep breath, and it's okay to say, "I made a mistake,"
Right.
and walk away versus trying to be stubborn and prove to the world that they're wrong,
Right.
and realize that most of the time it's right.
Right.
And so that would be my advice: is be patient, really understand it, set your expectations, have the people around you the right people that know more than you. A little story, and I'll shut up. My dad, he came from the Middle East as to be a Baptist minister. He went to Oklahoma, and in Oklahoma, he decided to go in the oil business. So he learned and was an engineer at 28. He'd sell sandwiches at the library to make some money. He worked, during the summers. And then he got hired, and he told me what he did was he went and picked the best people, hired them, taught them everything. And by hiring the best people, he didn't care about himself.
Right.
They did so good that he continued to get promoted. Because when you hire people that are better than you and know what they're doing, that are experts, they make you look good.
Right.
And at the same time, they make things work. So I learned that from his conversation explained to him. And then when he retired, his 3 engineers one went to start an oil company, one started a pipeline company. They all were very successful. So by putting people around you that are more successful or more knowledgeable or that are smarter than you, it's okay.
Right.
You see, when I was younger, I didn't want people smarter than me around me.
Right.
Because then I didn't know everything, and then I wasn't in control, and I had to rely on someone else. And
This is now you telling your younger self about,
Exactly. So my younger self says, you know what? It's okay to have people like George that knows more like me.
Right.
It's okay to have, this person that knows more. It's okay to have these people around because that's their job, their specialty.
Right.
Trust them.
Right.
And then do your due diligence.
Right. Right. And that's important in any concept in business, and especially real estate. I've learned that over the years as well, to make sure you get the right people and the right mixture in the right room together, to have what you need to keep moving higher and creating that legacy that you want, that you need. Well, as we wrap up, I just want to say thank you for coming out.
You're welcome. I know it's been a trial to try to get me out of here. It's been
well,
I think 3 different cancellations. But I appreciate it.
To get the good people in the room, but it's good when they do come because we get a chance to have those conversations. We get a chance to help people because people watch the show and they get mentored, and they understand like, oh, she has this guest on here and they went through, and they get a chance to see and hear real authentic real stories that are happening to people that help people. It helps them,
Take advantage of your mentors. My dad was awesome. He taught me everything. We're close, and he's been gone for almost 12 years now. And those conversations are gone. So, and then you realize that, wow, I should have done more. I should have done that. So if you have your mentors, you have heroes, you have your parents that are close to you, take advantage of it.
Right.
Because once they're gone, they're gone. You can talk to them, you can feel them, but you lose that aspect of it. So when I was listening to George, he was talking about his dad and his family, and I realized that, you look back and you lose that person. When you lose that person, you can't replace them. So your circle's got even smaller. So if you don't have relationships built around you, then you're alone in life, and that's horrible. You don't want to be alone.
Oh gosh, you don't want to be alone in life. Sometimes you have to cut people away to be alone,
Yeah.
and then
Rebuild.
recreate. Yeah, you have to recreate.
Yeah.
Well, as always, I tell everybody, thank y'all so much for watching and sharing, liking, and subscribing. It's been a pleasure being, your host and giving you great tools to be successful. It goes to my mind of that we started this podcast show just a year ago, and now we're like at the 300 and something thousand, 300,000 mark, so it just shows you that consistency, and then sowing seeds of trying to give good information out there. So as always, stay healthy, wealthy, and wise, and we will do the same.
If you're ever hungry in Willis and want some wings, go to Texas Craft Wings. We got the best wings out there in Willis.
Yes.
I just had to say that because I
Yes.
promised JP and my manager that I'd say some good things about him. So I did it. So we're good.
Y'all go. I've
Yep.
had it. I've enjoyed it. It's and y'all do crawfish too when it's crawfish season.
Yep, it's over
Yeah.
now. We don't have more crawfish, but
Yeah.
we're doing some stuff for the soccer with everybody's going crazy about the World
Oh,
Cup.
soccer.
We've got beer and Angus burgers, with Guinness and stuff like that. So it's a fun time when you have a little mix and just be able to have fun and just relax and just enjoy life a little bit.
Well, y'all enjoy yourself, and thank y'all for watching.
Well, thank you. It's my pleasure. Thank you everybody for listening and putting up with sometimes my craziness.